Okay, sir.
Viveka ma'am, can we start?
Yes. Yeah.
Consuda will.
Yes, yes. Good morning, one and all. So, welcome to this panel discussion Engineering Education, Match Your Passion, Charting the Right Career Choice. I welcome all the parents and the students who have logged in online for this particular session. So, this is part of the series of panel discussions which we have been conducting across all the departments in VNR VGIT. So this panel discussion should be able to serve you as a guidance in choosing the right career choice, especially related to the branches. So today we have on board Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So wherein we'll be addressing about almost like five branches together, six branches together. One will be Computer Science and Engineering, CSBS, Computer Science and Business Systems, and CSE AI and ML, CSE IoT, CSE Data Science, and CSE Cybersecurity. So the parents or the students, whoever have logged in, they can put forth their questions in the chat box, or you can interact with the panel members at the end of the session. So before I go into the session, let me just introduce you to the panel members who are there in this session. So today we have Dr. B.V. Kiranmai ma'am, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of CSE. So ma'am has acquired her PhD from JNTU Hyderabad in the area of data mining. She has done her MTech in 2007 and BTech in 1995 in Computer Science and Engineering. She has a rich teaching and research experience of 23 years in VNR VJIET. She has more than 25 research papers published in various reputed national and international conferences and journals, which are listed in Scopus, IEEE, and Springer proceedings. She is a senior member of IEEE, life member of IST and CSI. Her research interests include algorithms, image processing, machine learning, deep learning, and blockchain technologies. She has got the Best Paper Award for eye state detection and analysis for driver's fatigue in International Conference of Systematics, Cybernetics, and Informatics. Under her mentorship, the students have bagged various IST and CSI awards like Best Student Innovator, Best CSE Student, Best Accredited Student Branch, Highest Committed Student Branch activists. So, under the guidance and motivation, many students have excelled and won awards in various coding competitions like Smart India Hackathon 2018 and 19, Code for Good JPMC, Swish Hackathon, ACM ICPC, and West ITHON, etc. I welcome you, ma'am. I welcome you onto this panel discussion.
Yeah, very good morning to all. Welcome.
Yeah.
I welcome the parents and also the students to this particular webinar and panel discussion session. So, Counselor, shall I start or else?
No. I'll introduce other panel members.
Okay, right.
So next on the panel, we have Dr. Nagini ma'am, who has 22 years of teaching experience. Her research interests include machine learning, deep learning, and blockchain. So she has worked on a funded project of UGC, and she has more than 20 international publications. She's also the coordinator of Coding Club Turinghut. I welcome you, ma'am, Nagini ma'am.
Yeah, good morning to all of you, and I welcome all the parents and the industry as well as our alumni student on board. And I hope this will give you a good input.
Thank you, ma'am. Next on the panel discussion, we have Dr. Shivakumar sir, who has 20 years of teaching experience and 10 years of research experience. He has published many research papers in journals and conferences. He has reviewed many research papers in reputed journals and international conferences. He also has vast experience in academics and actively involved in syllabus framing for various courses. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
And I welcome all the parents and students for the interaction. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next on the board, we have Mr. Magesh from TCS. Sir has done his BE and has done his MBA and he has over 10 years of experience. He has worked across multiple teams like in TCS like pre-sales, operations, process transformation with academia interface program team for almost like last 5 years. So he's the program manager for CSBS program. I welcome you, Mr. Magesh.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Next on the panel, we have Harshavardhan, our 2019 passed out student who has been placed in JPMC and he's also a runner-up in Smart India Hackathon. I welcome you, Harshavardhan. Harshavardhan.
Harsha, you unmute.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Before we go into the discussion, I would just ask the senior faculty members and the head of the department to introduce briefly about the department through their presentation. So, Kiranmai ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, very good morning to all and welcome to this webinar and the panel discussion. So, what is the engineering education actually? Engineering education is teaching knowledge and principles related to the professional practice of engineering. So, match your passion. So, this is from the student's point of view. The students have to take up the branch what they're going to love it. Charting your right career choice. So this is for the parents. So for the most of the parents, the prospects of their teenage children gradually from school and entering college is both exciting and worrying also. So exciting because a whole new world of adventure awaits them. And worrying because the crucial decision of choosing a right branch or a right career has to be made, right? So a series of webinars have been conducted by the VNR Vijay, and I hope these particular webinars should guarantee will help the students and the parents in choosing a branch and also choosing his or her right career choice. Yeah, next slide. So the Department of Computer Science and Engineering was established in the year 1995, and this department got accredited by NBA, and the department is recognized as a research center by JNTU Hyderabad. So this department offers the UG programs. Currently, we offer 2 UG programs and 2 PG programs. So under the UG programs, we have the BTech Computer Science and Engineering with an intake of 240. And we have the BTech Computer Science and Business Systems started in 2019 with an intake of 60. This is in collaboration with TCS. We have started this particular course. And 2 PG programs, we have MTech Computer Science and Engineering and MTech in Software Engineering, each with an intake of 18. AICTE have given an approval for us to start the 4 new courses, that is BTech CSE with Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, BTech CSE with expertise in data science, BTech CSE with expertise in Internet of Things, and BTech CSE in cybersecurity, each intake of 60 to meet the Industry Revolution 5.0. About the faculty in the department, so currently there are 67 faculty available in the department. Out of them, 5 are professors, 10 are associate professors, 52 are assistant professors, and among them, 17 are PhDs, and 50 are pursuing their PhDs, and they are at different levels of pursuing their PhDs. Our faculty are expertise in the various mezzanine technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, deep learning, AR/VR, design thinking, ServiceNow. And I am very proud to say that our faculty got certified by TIPLT Hyderabad in AIML and ServiceNow by the ServiceNow company itself. And I have been certified by Emeritus University also in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And like this in various domains, our faculty have been awarded. Next. So apart from the academics, our faculty are also expertise in research and consultancy. So I'm very glad to say that in the last 3 years, the department has funded with about 90 lakhs for the grant of 90 lakhs toward the research under the various organizations like DST, DRDO, ASTE, UGC, and TechIP 3. So these are the few of the projects undergoing currently in the department. And coming to the consultancy, our faculty have developed a VR tour for a Varangal heritage site. So the Telangana government has granted 9.6 lakhs to develop a VR tour for the Varangal heritage. And also our faculty have been preparing the educational videos, and for that also we have received as a part of the consultancy fund. Next. Shiva, it's over to Shiva now.
Thank you, ma'am. And coming to the curriculum of CSE department, here we will give some highlights how exactly we are going with the curriculum. So as an autonomous of VNR Vijay IIT, we are framing curriculum on our own, and we are having our board of studies, and we are conducting board of studies very frequently every semester, and we are going to revise the curriculum as per the industry needs. And whenever the new technology introduced by the industry, we are considering all those requirements, and we are also including in our curriculum. So here we are following the choice-based credit system, so that we are offering many courses through elective subjects. So based on the interest of the students, they can choose their elective subjects in this choice-based credit system. Apart from this regular curriculum, we are also including ECA activities, CCA activities, sports, mentoring, and all those things also in the timetable itself. Apart from this regular curriculum, we are also introducing the career vision program in the curriculum. That means we are focusing the students and we are guiding them towards their career. For that, we are having the separate training team. They will introduce what exactly they will plan during the entire curriculum of this BTech. They will explain you. Coming to the examination pattern, we are having our own examination pattern in the autonomy, and we are going to conduct the entire curriculum into 2 parts. 40% weightage we are giving for internal evaluation, and 60% weightage we are going to give for semester end examination pattern. So coming to this internal evaluation also, we are giving 30% weightage for writing part of the examination in the format of midterm examinations, and we are giving 10 marks for assignment. So we will conduct assignment in different formats like MCQs or quiz examination or some projects or some course-based project, whatever it may be. Based on the curriculum and based on the subject, the faculty will give that assignment for the students. And the semester end examination, we are giving for 60% weightage for it. So overall 100 marks, 40% for the internal evaluation and 60% we will give for the external evaluation. Coming to the different courses in the CSE department, initially we are having only BTech CSE course. Last year we started one more course that is called Computer Science and Business System. It is also as part of CSE only. So 90% curriculum we are having our own, but 10% we are giving the weightage for the business oriented courses, which was introduced by the TCS. This year we got 4 more specializations in the BTech CSE, that is AI, ML, IoT, data science, and cyber security. So coming to the curriculum of these courses, 85% of the subjects are common to the CSE only. The remaining 15%, we are giving the weightage for the based on the specialization. For example, if the student is opting BTech CSE in IoT, we are going to give some 15% weightage for the courses which is related to the IoT, and that courses will be there for every semester, one particular course related to that specialization only, right? So 15% only the variation, but the thing is these 15% will be covered for other streams as part of elective subjects. If any data science students is interested to learn some courses related to IoT, they can opt all these courses under their elective subjects. So coming to final years, overall the syllabus is same between all the specializations of the BTech CSC. Whatever the course, either it is CSBS, AIML, IoT, or data science, or cybersecurity, coming to the final year, they are going to learn all the subjects, some subjects as the core subjects and some subject as the elective subject. And whatever the missing courses of particular stream, those courses we are going to offer them as a certificate courses or short-term training programs for those students. So overall, at the end of 4.2, all students of all streams will get the 100% curriculum, whatever we are giving directly or indirectly, but the output of all streams will be the same, so that all streams will be eligible for all companies, and the opportunities, placement opportunities are also equal for all the branch students, all the stream students. So that is about the curriculum of our CSE department. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Next slide, Sandeep. Yeah. Why CSE? There is a huge scope for placements in CSE. The problem solving and programming involves a lot of innovations, and students who love programming, designing, analysis of software, hardware, with a good understanding of coding can get into CSE. Now, over to Bharat.
Yeah. Good morning, and thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to present the various activities happening across the department. Let me introduce myself. I am Bharat Kumar, working for trainings and placements in the Department of Computer Science for the past 5 years. And let me present you the programs happening in the Department of CSE apart from the academic learning. This is what the key thing that we want to point it out today. Point number one, regarding technical trainings. Generally, we work closely with the industry experts. The reason is to identify the gaps between the industry and the academia. We want to fill it. In that particular way, we have introduced some courses for training the students, just like full stack development training, which will enable a student to work on front end, back end, and database of an application, Python programming, followed by machine learning, artificial intelligence, service now, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain technology, and similar. And the programs will be planned in a dynamical way. It depends upon the market requirement. It depends upon, how to say, uh, the need of the hour. That is, and we have named it as guided learning. This model helped us a lot in making ourselves better, and even it enabled us to narrow the gap between industry as well as academics. Coming to the next point, certification training, we named this as self-learning. Even though students go through an regular academic career, we want to make the things better. Thereby, we have enabled these courses, just like NPTEL, Coursera, EDX, and currently we are moving with these three. And later on, we want to scale it up. And even R19 regulations, it says that it is mandatory for a student to complete 2 certificate courses. And one more thing I would like to mention here, even faculty from the department, they are registering to these courses, working in line with the requirements and working with the students, which will be an added bonus apart from the regular academics. And coming to placement trainings, we exclusively work on competitive coding, work on aptitude, reasoning, and for this, we have in-house resources who are exclusively working on placements and trainings. And similarly, external resources, we have deputed them for from higher institutions just like IITs, NITs, IIITs, and even senior corporate trainers. And the beauty of the department I would like to mention here, we have made one complete day available for the students exclusively to focus on these trainings. And we have planned the timetable accordingly so that it will not disturb their academics. In that particular fashion, timetable will be given. At the same time, mentors are being made available for each and every program. Apart from the industry expert or apart from the corporate trainer, we are trying to deploy or we are trying to add on some mentors, nothing but their seniors, mostly their seniors who are placed and who are working in various companies, so that the student can feel comfortable, they can mingle up with their seniors, they can get their doubt cleared, and even they can make themselves better. Point number 4, project-based learning. Uh, uh, we call this as a course-based project for every laboratory course. Apart from the regular lab exercises, they are supposed to submit a small project which is related to that lab subject. And mostly they need to submit it by end of the semester. And this will enable the students right from first year in the process of team building, in the process of teamwork, self-learning capabilities. All these things happen in the first year by making themselves involved in project-based learning. Similarly, periodical reviews will be made on course-based projects. By the end of the semester, they need to complete or they need to submit the report, the project that on which they have worked, and finally that will be put for evaluation. And coming to projects, it is major project as well as mini projects. Even though they are part of academics, just like submitting a major project and a mini project, but uh, from the Department of Computer Science, we will ensure that the project areas to be societal impact, the project areas to be research oriented, just like working on IoT, working on some mobile applications, working on web applications, or applying blockchain technology. And I would like to give a statement here. Last year, we have 20 publications from the work that they have done. And this year, right now, the figure is approximately 30 plus. 30 plus students have presented their work in various conferences, in various journals, national and international. And this model helped us a lot in the process of driving a students, even in research oriented. Apart from focusing on placements, we want to ensure that students can either work towards a research or even towards higher education. Whenever a student can properly work on a particular project, and if it is possible for him to publish a paper in a conference or a journal, this will be an added bonus for his resume, or even whenever he is willing to take a higher education, it will place a lot weightage in that process. And we want to ensure that these projects better fit to their resumes, even in terms of higher education, research, and so on. Coming to point number 6, related to internships related to various industries, I would like to mention a point here. And recently, or to say for the last 2 to 3 years, the hiring trends have been changed. Just not like conducting a written exam, conducting a group discussion, conducting a technical interview, and then giving them an offer. Instead of that, the hiring trends completely changed. Hackathons are being conducted by various companies, and then they are offering some paid internships. Upon successful completion and based on their performance, they may be even given a full-time opportunity. Let me quote an example here. The current third year first semester students, that means the students just completed second semester, they have gone through an internship drive for JP Morgan, and almost 22 students are offered with a 50,000 stipend for 2 months, and they will get a chance of working with JP Morgan in the coming summer. And if based on their performance, they may be even converted into a full-time with a 14 lakhs package. So internships can be offered in-house, even at the national level, if not even at the international level. Faculty, they have their own problem statements. Students, if interested, and students will be motivated to work in such a way that they can pick up a research statement or a problem statement of their own. If not, they can approach a mentor. If not, they can go with Internshala or any other online kind of a thing that are available. And I would like to happily mention, this year we got an international research internship for one of our students. Currently, she is working with NTU Singapore. This is how we have planned all these activities with respect to technical trainings, certification trainings, placement trainings, project-based projects, followed by internships. Thank you.
Yeah, Nagini.
Yeah, good morning. We have seen a lot of academics and the outcome of how students are being placed, but definitely we need to have a good infrastructure supported background. So we have as of academics are concerned, we have 16 laboratories to ensure that each student will be given a system individually and they can sit on that and keep working for their projects and etc. And we made sure that the systems are with the latest configuration, and we also have all licensed softwares. And apart from this, we are having complete campus Wi-Fi environment, so students can sit anywhere and still work with their own laptops, etc. And coming to research laboratories, we have 3 of them. We have Center of Excellence for Data Science, Augmented Reality and Virtual Reality Lab, and Visual Haptic Labs. These all labs enable us to do research. Not only the faculty, but students are also equally involved in their activities so that they get ready with the latest technologies. We encourage students to take up the work even on Saturdays and Sundays, late nights, etc. There's a weekend laboratory facility for them. They can stay back and work with with the permission from the authorities of the department. And we just wanted to emphasize here, all the classrooms and labs are completely ICT enabled, and we have a good internet bandwidth so that it helps all the students to work on the projects and pull the information from the internet. Apart from this, we are planning to propose a research club where students, they themselves are taking it seriously to have a research club. They wanted to do research in AI, ML, and deep learning. And of course, the faculty will be helping them. This will enable them to go for the outcome of these will be publications, and definitely this will help them to go ahead easily into reputed universities for their MS programs and these things. Right. And apart from, we have our own department library, which is well stocked up with all the latest textbooks where students can take with the help of faculty involved. Next slide, please, Sandeep. Next slide, please. Yeah. So coming to what are the technical clubs we have three to four technical clubs. One is Turing Hut, the coding club, the research club, which will be shortly initiated by the students. And we have CSI and IEEE CS and CSEA. So the purpose of having a Turing Hut, a coding club here, is to make sure they are going to be directly placed with the way they score on the online platform. Many of the students are being absorbed straight away, and they do participate. They are encouraged to participate in hackathons and all the coding competitive like ICPC at Asia level. And the interesting part of the Turing Hut is we encourage what is called as peer teaching. The senior students who gain experience are encouraged to teach the juniors. So like that, we have a good peer learning process. And research club, of course, the student initiation, we are hoping it will be leading us to a greater, higher levels very shortly. Coming to CSI, CSI organizes a lot of technical events, industry training programs, workshops, guest lectures on latest technologies to make sure at least students get an idea about what is happening in the industry. And apart from this, they also conduct an e-outreach program to make sure the technology reaches rural area, like helping farmers, helping small kids in schools to understand what technology is, so that in near future they'll be interested in going ahead with the IT sector. And CSEA organizes technical quizzes, paper presentations, induction program. The way when the students join our organization, the entire induction program is handled by CSEA. And also CSEA does interdepartmental activities. So these clubs will definitely enable the students to be serious with their technologies. Thank you.
Yeah, Ramakrishna.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity to present about the placements. Myself, Ramakrishna, working as assistant professor in CSE department, and I have been working as training and placement coordinator for the past 5 years. So, coming to the placements, more than 90% of the students got very good placements in top companies, and it was not just with a minimum package. 70% of the students got above 5 lakhs package, and 50% of the students got above 6 lakhs package. And we are proudly saying that one of our student, Mr. Venkat Rohit, he got offer from Denso Japan, Japanese-based company with 41 lakhs package. And also another three students, Mr. Mohin and Manik Soni and Vinutna, got the offer from the Amazon in a SDE role. That is the package is 30 lakhs. And coming to the current final year students, there are 23 students got the JPMC, JP Morgan Chase and Co. Company. So with 14 lakhs package, and also 7 students got the current final year students again. So they got the internship from the service now with a 45,000 stipend per month. And once this internship is over, it is going to end up with October 2nd week. After conversion, they are going to get the 18 lakhs to 24 lakhs package. And not only that, for current third year students also recently they have participated the JP Morgan hackathon and they won the hackathon, and 22 students got selected for the internship with 50K stipend per month. And coming to the placements, like we have around 125 companies are visiting our campus. Out of this, product-based companies are 25, and the service-based companies are 70, and core sector-related companies are 30 companies. So almost all the students will get the very good placement. And next slide. So this is the last recent year currently passed out batch. So these are the companies visited. It is giving the more than 6 lakhs package. So here, just now I told you that Denso Japanese company is 41 lakhs, and Amazon SDE role 30 lakhs, and Amazon data engineer role 14 lakhs package, and JPMC again 14 lakhs, and Microsoft 10 lakhs. So likewise, almost we have 125 companies are visiting the campus. And last year for this batch, total companies visited are 80 companies. And earlier it is our average package is 3.5, and later it is increased to 5 lakhs, and then 6, and now it is 6.5. And coming to the current year, it may increase to 6.8 to 7 also because of this ServiceNow, JPMC, and also Amazon also last 2 days back visited our campus, and first round has completed, and this time they are offering 5 roles. So this time they have revised the package also. It is 18 lakhs to 36 lakhs. So likewise, the average package is increasing every year. And last year and before last year, almost 95% of the students got the very good placements. Next slide, sir. And this is the placement trend analysis over the past 5 years. So every year from the 2016 to current year, so almost every student will get a very good placement here. So it is almost 93, 95% like this. Next slide, sir. So this
One
is
minute.
Yes,
Ramakrishna, actually here above 90% of the students go for the placement, and
yes,
coming to the next 10%, 8% of the students will go for the MS program or else MTech program, and 2% of the students will go and set up their own organizations and become the entrepreneurs. So on and all, 100% of the students will have a bright future.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, thank you. Sir, next. So this is the average CTC. So it is also like 3.32. Now it is 6.5, and the current year it is going to increase up to 6.8 also. Okay. So recently we have developed one app, VNR Placements app, with our students. It contains all the company related information and hiring process and who got selected in that, and full details about the each and every company. So I'm going to post this in Drive link, that app link in here in the chat box. You can go through it about the placements in CSE department. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, coming to the collaborations, so the Department of Computer Science and Engineering have a memorandum of understanding with Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, Capgemini, Quantel, IBM, EPAM, and Emrods. So what are the benefits in collaborating with these industries? So these industries are going to provide us the physical internships where the students will go to the industries and they're going to perform the task given by the industry. And also the TCS mainly it gives us the opportunity to provide the remote internship projects to our students. And anyhow, all these companies will give us the placements to our students. And industrial visits where our students will be visiting the industries and feel the experience how the particular employees are working there and what is the current trend going on in the industry. And we invite the industry personnel over here in conducting the guest lectures and technical trainings in order to meet the gap between the academics and also the industry. And I'm very glad to say that we also invite the industry personnel to our curriculum design because latest technologies or the mezzanine technologies, we see that these particular courses also will be included in our curriculum with the help of the industry persons. Next slide. Sandeep. Yes, start Sandeep.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Very good morning. Myself, Sandeep Chaitanya. I'm working for the last 7 years in the Department of CSC VNR VJIT. So I am coordinating the outreach activities as a part of CSI Hyderabad chapter. I am the student coordinator for CSI Hyderabad chapter. So apart from the regular academic activities, so we are taking some sort of responsibility to uplift the rural areas. So as a part of that, we are conducting different type of outreach activities. So our students are involved in this particular outreach activities. So one of the village near Zahirabad, we adapted that particular village, that is Machnuru. So twice in a semester, we will be regularly visiting there, and we will be educating the villagers regarding the different type of technologies. So as a part of that, we are conducting several sessions on the importance of digitalization, demonetization, and the importance of cybersecurity and how to use the smart mobiles. We also conducting different type of research and moreover employment opportunities for the students in Acharya Degree College, Zahirabad. In order to educate the villagers on different type of technologies, our student has developed one Android app, that is Agro Market. In that particular app, it will be educating the villagers when to plant the seeds and where we will be getting the best price in the market. Everything will be available in that particular Android app. So apart from the other activities, we are also conducting some sort of outreach activities in order to educate, in order to bridge the technical gap between the schools and more of the colleges. So we are in collaboration with Turing Club. We are conducting different type of sessions on mezzanine technologies for teachers and more students in Silver Oak schools and more government schools in Pragati Nagar and moreover Bachpalli. Apart from these, we are also conducting different type of extension activities in order to educate all the persons. So we have conducted the anti-drug rally, and moreover, we are giving some sort of helping hand to the orphans. We are providing the helping hands for old age people. We are conducting different type of events under Swachh Bharat. And also we regularly, every semester, we are conducting blood donation camp in VNR VJIT. And also as per the state government's rule, we are also conducting the Haritaharam in our college. So regarding to the department
coming to the department achievements, the two of our faculty got the Best CSC Teacher Award by IST, and the CSI Student Branch also got the award as CSI Best Accredited Student Branch Award during CSI 2020 annual convention held at Bhubaneswar. And Mr. Sandeep Chaitanya, so who is now the spokesman, assistant professor, and also the coordinator of the CSI, got the CSI Longest Continuous Student Branch Coordinator Award during CSI 2020 convention held at Bhubaneswar. Over to Sandeep.
Thank you, ma'am. So regarding to the students' excellence, we are concentrating regarding the excellence in the hackathons, research awards, entrepreneurs, and more of the students awards. So let me go with this particular hackathons first. So previously also faculty has introduced about this particular person, that is nothing but our alumni who is right now in the on board. He is a person who has won the runner-up at Smart India Hackathon for Intelligent Traffic Management in the year 2018. And also our student has won the Team Winner Award under blockchain in Techno conducted by Deloitte. This is regarding the Swiss Hackathon, where our student has won the first prize in 2019. So this is regarding to the web design contest that has been conducted by CSI Telangana Convention. It is held at Gogoraju Institute of Engineering and Technology. Our student has bagged both the first and more of second prizes. So this is concerned to the fourth BTech student, G. Rohit. He has got the placement with a package of 40.3 lakhs in Denso Company, Japan. So this is our student Siddharth Jayakumar, who has got the Ideal Student for Talent and More Excellence Award by IST Telangana State. IST is nothing but the Indian Society for Technical Education. It is an Indian organization where it will be encouraging the students and more faculty to conduct and moreover to provide different type of awards on their excellence. This is Basavaraju, who has passed out in the year 2015-2019. He has also got one particular patent, and he has got the best student innovator by IST Telangana section. So going for the entrepreneurs, this is Ramana Prasad Kovelamodi. He is a co-founder for Socialite, and moreover, he is presently the CEO of Prasad Hospitals. He has bagged the top 100 positions that has been listed by Forbes. This is our student Rupesh Mittal, who was passed out in the year 2019. He's owning his own company. He's a founder and more CEO of Mittal Technologies. Under this particular Mittal Technologies, they are conducting different type of programs like Cyber Jagruti program, and it has been conducted from 2019 onwards. They are giving different type of sessions throughout the India. This is Rupesh Mittal. I mean, he's a prominent speaker on cyber technology, cyber consultants, different type of activities, not only in India. He has went for Iraq and Iran, and there they had trained the police and moreover different type of civilians on this particular importance of cyber security. So this is our student Kovur Navya. So she has got the Best Student Award for the year 2015 by IST Telangana State. So this is our student Gautam Sai. He's passed out final year student. Okay, he has got the CSI Best Committed Student Branch Activist Award during CSI 2020 Annual Convention held at KITS Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Over to BVK, ma'am.
Yeah, thus I conclude saying that a good education is a foundation for a better future. So thank you all. And now it is Kansuda, over to Kansuda. Kansuda, I think now the Magesh is going to start his to say a few words. Please introduce him.
Yeah. So welcome, sir, Magesh, sir. So in spite of his busy schedule, he has spared some time for us to be part of this panel discussion. Magesh, sir, yes, would you like to talk something, or should I ask you from my parents' perspective?
You can ask from your
Yeah, definitely, sir. Sir, since you are an industry person, I would like to ask you, what are the scope of opportunities that lie ahead for students who are graduating from CSC, CSBS, and similarly the other 4 new branches, whatever have come from this year?
Okay. So if I may take the liberty of going back in time to understand the present scenario, is that okay? Can I go back in time as history?
Yes, sir, definitely.
That way, I would like to set the context for what is happening presently. So if you see, humans also have, we started in the same manner as the other animals. But what made us different was we could think, and we could make tools in the form of fire or a bow and arrow or a spear, which helped us become better than other animals and evolve. So progressively, if you see, we've had the industrial revolutions. The first industrial revolution was in the year about 1750, if I'm correct. And before that, all the manufacturing was done very manually by hand. So once this industrial revolution started, everything became mechanized with the emergence of steam engine, right? All that was done manually was done in a machine, through a machine. It was started in Britain. And so that helped Britain, or the Great Britain, to become the strongest power in the world, and they started dominating the rest of the world. That was the first revolution. Then moving on, we've had the second revolution, where oil emerged, the energy, fuel, that emerged. So what difference did that make to the industry? We started having aeroplanes, cars, automobile, engines, and even to this day, it is considered the second industry revolution as the greatest period of time, because the greatest of inventions have happened during that time. And then moving on, we've had third industrial revolution, where electronics came into the picture, telecommunication. So all these mobiles and computers and all that, and what difference it has made to the world, right? And parallelly, if you see, sorry, one second. Parallelly, if you see, we've had wars, right? We've had wars where it was fought using bow and arrow and swords and all that. And then moving on, some empires and kingdoms had improved their tools, right? They made guns. The biggest difference during these wars was the tools that these kingdoms had, or the countries had, and whichever had better tools and technologies won the war. So now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and the major factor to this whole thing of fourth industrial revolution is data. Okay, now data is considered gold, diamond, whatever you say is precious. Okay, so around data revolves these things: machine learning, artificial intelligence, AI, which is basically artificial intelligence, then Internet of Things, okay, data analytics. So whichever company is able to get good amount of data and make a good analysis of the data is the winner. Like the previous, as I said, the kingdoms and the countries which had better tools and technologies won the war. Likewise, now whichever company has a good data and a good analysis will get to the top, right? Everything is driven by data. These
seems to be like some power cut issue with Magesh sir. So while he resumes, I'll just get back to Harsha. Yeah, Harsha. Yeah, Harsha. So how did you land up in VNR VJIT? I mean, how was your choice influenced when you first joined VNR VJIT?
Harsha?
Harsha?
Yeah, I think Magesh sir is back, I think.
Yeah, okay. let him
I
continue.
rejoined. There was a network problem.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
My
sir.
yeah.
laptop got
No problem.
disconnected. I've joined using my phone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was saying that everything revolves around the data. Using data, for example, if you go to a shop and you just inquire about a particular product, everything is noted down. The kind of product that you've inquired, your own database, and based on that, a lot of analysis done. Facebook has become so famous. Why do you think? Because there is so much data generated in Facebook about what people are talking to each other, what are the reviews about a particular movie, for example, or for a particular product or a particular political situation. Everything is recorded, every data is recorded, and everything is analyzed to get a meaningful output which would benefit a company. So AI, machine learning, Internet of Things, everything revolves around this. And the best part is computer science, engineering as all these courses in its curriculum. Okay. It is said that the next important thing is not the capital. When I say capital, basically it is money, it is the talent. So whoever develops skills in these areas is the winner. So I think the curriculum has also evolved over a period of time, and it is great that these concepts, which is the next or the current and the next maybe 10 years from now or 20 years or even 30 years, these are the things which will make the world move. So I think the students are at the right place learning these concepts.
Right, sir. Well said, sir. So similarly, I would like to ask you one more question, which many of our parents have been asking during these inquiries. So the new branches, whatever have come up now, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, cyber security. So all these branches, so these are all evolving technologies right now, whatever we have seen and whatever we have told. So the parents would like to know whether these will be a short span or long term. I mean, because they're very apprehensive about joining their works, especially in this kind of new branches, whatever have evolved. So though there is a lot of what you call discussions going on various platforms regarding these new branches, still the parents are a little bit apprehensive in joining these branches. I mean, since they don't know, I mean, how far is it a short span that they are looking at, or will it have a kind of future for the long term also? So I would like to know this from you, sir.
Sure. See, with the evolution of internet, okay, just take an example of Amazon. Everything was before or even after Amazon came in, during the 90s and even early 2000s. If you take retail, it was all people going to shops and buying, right? With Amazon and Flipkart and etc., it is coming to your house. Okay, everything's become online. Likewise, now if you see education, another example is education technology, edtech as it is called. So many courses are provided online. So what I'm trying to say is, the world is moving towards an online framework. Okay, and with this also there is a need of creating a security systems so that people are protected, data is protected. For example, I'll tell you, 2 days back I read a report, or not a report, basically a person from the government. He said after this, especially this COVID, there is a 500% increase in cyber security problems, basically cyber attacks. So that means what? It basically says we need people who can protect the data, right? When I say protect the data, that is eventually protecting people and their data, right? So as and when the world is moving more towards online, all these that you've mentioned, be it data science or artificial intelligence or data cyber security or data security, there will be more and more demand for these sectors, these areas, and more people will be needed, and whoever gets skilled in these areas will get benefited.
Right, sir. Very nice to hear that. And I think the present COVID scenario is also adding up to that kind of situation
Yeah, definitely.
wherein we need to update ourselves related to these technologies.
Correct.
Sir, yeah. Coming to the curriculum aspect, so since you have been associated with our CSBS course, you have the especially from TCS aspect. So I would like to know, especially about this computer science and business systems. So how was the curriculum framed for the CSBS system, sir? And can we expect TCS to be the major recruiter for the CSBS students?
Okay, so I will start with how this course started. We started in 2018 after a conference with uh, the academia, where a lot of HODs, vice chancellors, and all of them, they gathered in Mumbai for a meeting along with the industry. And one of the vice chancellors put up this point saying that industry and academia should work very closely for the benefit of the students. And of course, this has always been there, that we should work closely, but that again reinforced that point. So then we thought, okay, let us get more. Although we've been involved with the academia from quite some time, we thought we'll get even more deeper. So in 2018, we along with Indian Statistical Institute, where Dr. Bimal Roy, who's our chairman of a National Statistical Commission, we got into a collaboration with them, saying that we want to develop a course and launch it at the engineering colleges. I'll come to the course in some time, but I'll just give a brief of how we started. So along with ISI, we developed this course. We designed the course, and first we approached some colleges, and 3 colleges signed MOUs with us to start 2018. And in 2019, we had 25 more colleges, and this year we've had 24. So in total, it is about 48 colleges.
Yes, sir.
I think again it's power issue. Kranti, go ahead.
Yeah,
Alumni.
Yeah. Right. So Harsha, I'll just get back to the same question. So what was that which has influenced you in joining this VNR VJIT and especially selecting this branch of CSB?
Okay. Yeah. So before getting into that, so basically I'm a diploma pass out, and the fun fact is that I pursued my diploma in electrical and electronics engineering. And once I'm done with that, one thing which is very clear is, as Magesh was rightly saying, there was immense change that was going on in this digital world that is there. So one thing that was very clear is I could clearly understand CSC is the place where there is a lot of scope and a lot of scope for someone to start their career with. So I have clearly decided to go ahead and opt for bachelor's in CSC. So that was the first point. And later on, I had my sister passing out from Vienna. So I have seen what all placements she had attended and what all opportunities that she got from Vienna, and she's already happily placed in Birlasoft. She was electrical graduate though. Being electrical graduate, she was able to land a software job in Birlasoft. So that thing excited me. Post that, I did my a bit of survey kind of thing, tried reaching out to seniors, reaching out to friends of my sister and stuff. And from all those discussions, one thing that was very clear is VNR has very bright opportunities for computer science engineers. So yeah, that excited me, and that made me opt this.
Yeah. Right, Shavardhan. So since Magesh sir seems to have joined back, Magesh sir.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I have a connection problem at my hand. I'm so sorry about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely, no problem at all. Meanwhile, while you joined, we were just were talking with Harsha. Sir, you can continue, sir.
Okay, so I was saying I don't know where I just continue talking. I don't know where it got disconnected. But what I was trying to say was we designed the curriculum to make sure that we give importance not just to the technical subjects like machine learning and programming, which is very essential for the industry. Also on aspects like communication and management. So this CSBS course has both aspects to it, which would be a holistic development, holistic learning for the students. So that is how we develop the course.
Yes, sir. So related to the scope of opportunities that the students from CSBS can have, I mean, computer science and business systems.
Right. Okay, as I said, there is immense scope because computer science and especially CSBS students basically learn the contemporary from the industry. They learn whatever the industry requires. Basically, that is the major problem here in India, right? There is a skill gap and a needs gap between what the industry wants and what is being taught in the college. So this course basically bridges that gap. Okay, and it is a very dynamic course. And as and when there is some changes in the industry, we will incorporate those changes in the curriculum so that the students are not left behind. They are at par with the developments in the industry. So once they pass out from the course, they will be industry ready.
Right. So since you have made a mention of the curriculum aspect, I would just like to know what are the thrust areas that should be included as part of the curriculum so that the students do have the skill set or they should be industry ready, as you say.
Right. So again, it's a mix of both technical and soft skills. Okay. The thrust areas should be, of course, coming from a computer science background, programming, and the related courses are very important. And from industry person, the one thing or for that matter, any interviewer will look for from a student especially is the confidence, okay, and a basic knowledge of whatever they've studied. Okay, so a student who understands the core concept of whatever he or she studies, that is very, very important. Not just a study for the examination. Okay, they need to understand the core concepts, as I said, and they need to get their hands dirty. Okay, they need to work on a lot of projects so that they not just learn theoretical aspects of the courses, but also get practical. And this is from the technical side. From the soft skill side, it is very important, as I said, that a student, when she is passing out, has that confidence. Okay, without confidence, all the other things take a backseat. See, if a person has scored 100 out of 100 but is not able to answer an interviewer's question, all that doesn't matter at all. So confidence, communication skills, these also go hand in hand with the technical side of the course.
Right.
So now you have so many online courses. I'm sure even your college will have at least in the third or fourth year some communication improvement courses and all that, right? Not improvement, basically to face the interview and things like that. That is also very important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. And I'm first time hearing from a computer science person that getting your hands dirty. I mean, generally it's used for all the other branches. So yeah, as PhD has been involved in not many other activities. So they are extending their domains into all the fields also. Thank you, sir. Just one more question before I'll leave you. One thing is, yeah, since you have made a mention of the institute, so how was your involvement with the VNR VJIT? I would like to know some kind of feedback from you.
Okay, so I have received input from Richard, who's my colleague and who works very closely with your institute because he's the academy relations manager for Hyderabad and that region. And what he has to say is VNR is a day one hiring premium college. It is one of the top private institutions in both the Telugu speaking states put together with excellent placement track record. So I'm just saying what Richard is saying because he knows what
Yes, sir.
college stands for.
Yeah, right. Thank you for that positive feedback, and thank you, sir, for sparing your time to be on this panel discussion.
Richard sir is also in this webinar. He joined actually. Will you welcome him?
Yeah.
We'll allow him to talk.
Yes. Right. Sir, Richard, sir, I welcome you onto this panel discussion. Sir,
Richard, sir, are you there? Actually, he joined.
Yeah, I'm there.
Sir, say a few words, sir. Thank you very much for joining, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Our experience as TCS with VNR VJIT has been excellent, and one thing we take pride in saying that whenever we want to try out new initiatives, we try it out in VNR VJIT, and the experience has been fantastic because it's just a phone call away, and then things are taken care, things are done. Especially, I know, for 4 or 5 years back when we started the remote internship program, which is we have totally reversed the way in which we do internships. We started off with VNR VJIT, and the response has been fantastic, and especially working with multiple departments because the problem statements and all were from requiring interdisciplinary type of projects, and the coordination and everything was really fantastic. That's why the experience what we have been having is really great, and every time we are involved, and it has really benefited mutually.
Right, sir. Thank you for those wonderful words which you have given for our college. We indeed work in collaboration with many branches, and especially CSE students do help in all the other branch projects, and wherever required, they do help us a lot. And as you said, they are very proactive and very interesting to know from you, especially that you have a good feedback on us. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being sparing us those time, whatever you have with you. So next, I would like to go back to our alumnus, Harshavardhan, who is from JP Morgan Chase. Right now, he's working there in JP Morgan. Harshavardhan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Since you are an alumnus coming out from VNR VJIT, I would just like to ask you a few questions which the students might be interested in knowing. Things like what are the best practices in the institute, and what are the values that you have learned from the institute?
Okay, cool. So there are a ton of things that I really like about VNR. So first things first, like as Nagini ma'am was rightly saying, weekend labs and like opportunity to use, facilitate laboratories over the weekend and late night. So I and my whole batch was one of the one who actually leveraged that facility to its greater extent. So like me and my whole team used to work almost like till midnight and stuff, and like that was a great experience there. That with that being one. So one another thing which I greatly like about our college VNR and our CSE department mainly is so the support for projects. So while I was in my bachelor, so me and a bunch of friends have participated or developed a few applications applications or projects. So, and there were around 8 or 9 projects that we have done in our whole bachelor's, and almost every project was greatly funded by our CSE department. Like let's say, if you talk about Smart India Hackathon, we had to travel to Nagpur for us to present our project that we have done, and almost every expense of it was reimbursed, be it traveling, be it the project expenses for the stuff that we need, like Raspberry Pi. So whatever, like even for a small USB cable also we were able to reimburse all of those costs. Like that was one of the great things that I liked about our department, mainly because we rarely tend to see such support given to students when it comes to projects and stuff, right? So with that being said, I also greatly like our entrepreneurship cell in our college. They nourish or nurture every small idea of a student, no matter how crazy it is. Like they tend to put all their efforts in. They tend to pull mentors even from outside VNR, and like they create the whole pipeline and like makes things simple for the student. So yeah, those are a few great things which I like about it. And when it comes to industry readiness, I have seen our CSE department taking various steps in making a student industry ready, by be it industry collaborations like with Embroads or other companies, and also I have seen some professional coachings that were being taken place in the college as well, like if we talk about smart interviews, being zeros, and a couple of other programs, right? So one thing that happens with all these programs is like a student will be given a chance to participate in any of these, and based on his or her particular interest, so they can explore their horizons in this particular arena. So that is one great thing that I liked. And again, talking about Turing Hut, they do like the great stuff there, like being mentored by our own seniors, like our seniors coming and sharing their own personal experience and their own professional experience is too great. And like all these things helped a lot in our whole this thing. And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Harsha. I mean, it's a really a delight to know that you have been mentored and trained by your department in various ways, probably, as you have mentioned. Yeah, as you have mentioned. And it's really good to know that the college, yes, does what you call it, support you in your ideas and in your projects if they really think that it's worth it. So it's really, I mean, very few colleges do invest on their students, and VNR has always been proactive in supporting the student ideas and projects. So it's good to know from you also. It just simply authenticates the same point. Harsha, just one more thing. Now that in JPMC, so how has your branch or relevance you have seen in your present job? That means, what do you think you can connect from what you have learned in the college and what you're doing right now?
Absolutely, ma'am. Like, no matter how many projects that we did, and like no matter how much exposure that we got outside Vienna, so we draw basics, or we draw whatever code that was required for me to pursue my current job that I'm doing, right? So we draw basics from the curriculum that was already set, and almost everything. Like, let's say now I'm currently working on Python and Java as such. So obviously, like these are the two languages that I've learned in my bachelor's, and yeah, almost every concept that I've learned in my bachelor's comes handy some or the other place.
Yes, thank you, Harsha. Just one more last point. So what should the students be looking into if they are looking for opportunities, or if they are very aspiring to join VNR VJIT, especially the branches which come under CSE, either it be CSBS or your AI and ML, IoT, data science, or cyber security. So what do you suggest from your perspective? Because since you were a student who passed out from this branch, students would like to hear from you, or what kind of opportunities lie ahead for them in the college, especially related to CSE.
Cool. Thanks for asking this question. So I generally want to answer such a thing. So one thing that I can greatly give away on this particular opportunity is, so whosoever has joined VNR and CSC department, so as I was saying, they will be exposed to a lot of opportunities that are out there, like be it working with some other external body, or getting trained under inside the VNR. So for the advice part, so one thing I would say, focus on the academics that is being said, and apart from that, like try to leverage all these opportunities that VNR is giving when it comes to projects, or when it comes to whatever it is. So try to be as vocal as possible. Almost every faculty will be more than happy to assist you or mentor you in any idea or anything that you really want to work on. And let's say if you badly want to work on something which is not being told in your curriculum, you can still be vocal about it. You can still get in touch with any of the faculty. I'm pretty sure all of them would be more than happy to help them out. If not, they will assist them in getting the right mentorship for that particular thing. So all I would want students to do is like focus on the academics, and apart from that, try to leverage all these opportunities that are out there, be it entrepreneurship, be it coding, be it development, or whatever it is.
Right. Thank you, Harsha. Thank you for leaving on a positive note for all the students who are looking up to people like you. So we are very proud of you, alumnus like you. So thank you for sparing your time to be on this panel discussion.
Yeah. So, Kansida, I want to say a few words about Harsha.
Yes.
Now, Harsha has helped a lot regarding our students. So, current final years, I'm very much proud to say that 26 of our students are placed in JPMC from CSC. And he has guided and mentored a lot and has played a very vital role for their placement. And current third years also, around 23 students got internships for the third years. For them also, he has continuously monitored, guided, and mentored, and at last 23 students got internships in JPMC. And also, he will be continuously in touch with the students and also myself. And he has also provided internships to current third years. When they were in the second year itself, 6 students he gave an internship. And for them also, day and night, he is mentoring them. And on this particular, I want to thank him a lot from the department, on behalf of the department. Thank you very much, Harsha, for helping the department in taking into the next level. Thank you.
No, thanks a lot. It was my pleasure.
I mean, I have observed that across all the departments that the alumni of VNR VJIT are very proactive. Wherever they have been, they have always given their helping hand to their juniors in whatever way possible. So I really appreciate the fact that they are attached to the college and to the department in such a way. I mean, it's really good to hear from people like you. Thank you, Harsha. Thank you for whatever ma'am has told. Really, it's interesting to know that you have guided your juniors also. Yeah. Any concluding remarks which the faculty from CSC might want to give? Because I think they have given a very good insight into the department and all the related activities, be it either placements, academics, or curriculum, or whatever competitions, industry collaborations, the projects that they have been working on. So it was really a good insight into their department through that presentation, whatever they have given initially. So in spite of that, if any parents would like to ask some questions, so as per I have seen in the chat box, they were mainly related to the admission process and all these things. So I think which most of them have been answered. So anything which the parents would like to ask, they can just unmute themselves and ask the panel members, or else I can think that the department, I mean, CSC, Kiranmai ma'am, I think you can give the concluding remarks so that we can wrap it up.
No more questions, Kanti?
As far as I see from the chat box, no, nothing, ma'am. They are only asking about the admission process, which most of them I have answered. So if anyone wants to interact, they can interact right now.
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
So, ma'am, thank you so much for this presentation. It was really great and helpful. And this is Sudhir this side, I'm a parent. So basically, I've been hearing Java, Pythons, data science, and other things. But a lot of colleges have been, but I haven't seen anything with respect to CRM, ERPs, right? Some things like Workday, business side. So, is there any way, or you're laying a path towards that side?
Yeah, sir. Our students, even they are, we are giving training in as part of CRM module, Salesforce. They are undergoing Salesforce and ServiceNow also. Now the students are taking training, and they will be very soon. We will be getting them the companies which are offering that particular CRM module.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I think there is a question from Vijaya. So she's asking whether the new courses are NBA accredited.
See, the new courses to be accredited, the one batch of that particular branch has to go out. That is, after 4 years only, we need to go for the NBA accreditation for that respective course. So this year, when they join it in 2020, so 24 they will be passed out. So we will be applying for the NBA in 2025. So most probably 25 will be the new courses will be accredited.
Right, ma'am. Yeah, that should be answering the question.
So one more question, madam. So because of this COVID, understand refraining us back to visiting the colleges. So I understand the entire process would be online for the admissions, except for paying the fee on the final day, submitting the application forms.
Yes, yes.
Am I understanding
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The entire admission process will be online. You will have the application available online. Only thing, as you told, when you have to report at the college, probably you will be coming in person.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. So coming back to the other things, right? So the admissions will go at par with other colleges because last time when I was looking for my elder kid, I see a distortion. Basically, there was no balance between different colleges. So meaning some of them do in advance like B category and NRI, and some of the colleges do it later. So how do we handle the situation, ma'am?
Sir, actually, it's a tough situation for the parents and from the college's perspective also. But in VNR, we follow a transparent procedure wherein we follow the government guidelines very stringently. So right now, no college is supposed to open their admissions, either it be B category or NRI, as per the guidelines. So we'll be getting a government order very shortly after the MCET results, wherein they allow the colleges to put up their application notification and fill in the required seats. So whatever colleges are doing, that's simply out of the line. So we don't do that. We generally follow the government guidelines.
No, but as a parent, just addendum to this question. As a parent, we are very eager to make that admission happen.
Yes,
in
sir.
any way.
Yes, sir. I do understand. I do understand. But even our hands are tied. I mean, there is a I mean, you need to take a decision at some point because there are a lot many things which will be going in parallel. So it's a tough call, but yes, you need to look into all the options available and take a wise decision.
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Your college looks to be very unique because the presentations you are giving. That too, we are very impressed with that. But we are crossing the fingers whether the admission will happen or not. But we'll try our level best to make my kid as part of your organization. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Thank you.
And there was a question in the chat box saying that they were worried about what to join in. Suppose they join in the new course, are they eligible for MS? Yes, your ward is eligible for MS if at all they undergo the course with AIML or IoT, cyber security or data science, because it is BTech CSC with a specialization of these particular courses. So no doubt about it, you are eligible for MS program. Thank you.
So any other questions which the parents would like
can we ask any question regarding the basically how does the admission process happens for this B category and NRI? So can we get through these clarified through emails?
Sir, you can put a mail across to admissions2020@vnrvjit.in. I'll just put it in the chat box. You can mail that. I'll try to reply to your queries, whatever you have, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much.
So any other queries which the parents might be having? So since the panel members are available, so they can interact with them directly.
So I have a question to Harsha. Harsha, it was really impressive the way you have articulated your experiences with VNR. So which is also motivating the younger kids and also the parents, right? So what is the message you give in turn to the kids following, right? So how to reach out to you and make you as a mentor, like just use a couple of closing words to make us happy.
So to answer that, sir, I will be open like almost every time. So I'll be working from morning somewhere around 5:30, 6 a.m. to all the way up to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. at times. So, and to all my juniors, I'm sure I'm very open and like my phone number is floating all over the department. And even if you want to reach out to me in person, I can share my personal number in the chat box. So if you have any personal queries, so you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try my best to answer them.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, if that.
Ma'am, I think we can wrap it up. I mean, since we don't have any other questions.
Yeah. Thanks to that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So thanks to all the panel members, Kiranmai ma'am, Shivakumar sir, Nagini ma'am, and all the placement coordinators who have been part of this discussion, and to our industry expert, Magesh and Harsha, our alumnus, who have been part of this panel discussion. It is indeed a great session for all of us and to the parents and student community also on the whole. So I think this video recording will be available on our website. So any parent who want to refer back to that can always do so. So thank you for being on, for joining us today, and thanks to all the panel members once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanti Sudha. Thank you, Harshavardhan. Thank you so much.
Special thanks to Richard King, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Richard, sir.
Shiva sir, I think you can stop the recordings.